So for the past few weeks, we've been running this series on how to edit like MagnatesMedia in CapCut Pc. And I thought it's about time we start a new series. So drop a comment below which of the YouTubers editing style you would like to learn. The one with the most likes is the one we're gonna start. Alright guys, let's get started. So we're gonna start with this image, just drag and drop in the timeline. Let me stretch it a bit. And I got this image on ChatGPT. I'm going to provide you guys with all the project files you can download and practice along. With that selected, go to Effect, and we're going to use Chrome Blur. You can search on this side, just drag and drop on the image. With the blur, let's take it to 0. Chromatic, let's go to somewhere 47. Now take your playhead to the starting frame of it and make a keyframe on transform. We can increase the size a bit. I think we can go for somewhere 160. Then take your player to somewhere here and let's reduce the size of it to 130 or 135. And automatically it's going to create a keyframe on scale. Now when you look at it, it's going to go back slowly. Now we're going to bring in a background, go to import, just drag and drop in the timeline. All this will be provided to you guys. You can download and practice along. I want it to start coming in somewhere here, so I'm going to take it there. With that selected, go to the right side and let's increase the size a bit. And this whole series is not for you to copy exactly what they do. It's just to provide you guys an idea and also with the tips and tricks you can learn from all this editing series. And this is how I started learning video editing. So I thought it would be nice to show you guys that same way. So with that selected, let's click on mask and select circle mask. Now click on invert. Let me reduce the size a bit so I can see exactly what I'm doing. Now I can increase it to cover the whole screen. We're gonna make keyframes on the mask. So drop a keyframe on this side. Then I'll take my player to somewhere here and then I can just reduce the size of it. I can make it a bit small just like this. Now I'm going to bring in a rect circle and we're going to create that from the scratch inside CapCut Pc. Just go to text, drag default text in the timeline. Let me make it a bit long. With that selected, go to the right side, delete default text and type in dot. Now with the font size, we can increase it to somewhere 600. Then I can just bring it in the timeline just like this. With the color, I can go for red. So I'm going to move it to the red color. Now I'm going to make a compound clip of this red dot to make everything easy on our side. Option G is going to create a compound clip. Then go to Effects. Let's add Chrome Blur to it. Then blur, take it to 0. And with chromatic, I can go to 48. Now I'm going to set a keyframe to match exactly the same intervals with this. Take my player to the starting of it. Make sure you select the circle red. Go to video, click on basic, and let's increase the size of it to exactly how the background is. So it's going to cover this side. Make sure you set a keyframe on transform. Then click on this so we can see where the second keyframe is. Click on the red circle, go to video, and let's just reduce the size of it. So I want to match exactly the same as the one below it. So now when you look at it, it's going to have the same movement. Now I'm going to fade in the red somewhere in the timeline. So I can go to, I think somewhere here, take my playhead there and click on video. Now scroll down, make a keyframe on opacity and take it to 0. Now I can take it to somewhere here in the timeline and opacity, I can turn it back to 100. So when you look at it, it's going to fade in nice and clean. Now I'm going to cut this part off. I don't need it. So select this tool, take your playhead there, Command B. We're going to cut this. We're going to play this trick. That's why we're cutting it. I'm going to show you guys. Let me click on this and drag it to this side. I want it to be exactly closer to this very keyframe. So I'm going to trim this side off and trim this side off and bring this closer to this. So we want to add a bit of speed when it's coming on the screen. So it's going to go this way. So this is a trick we're going to do. Select this tool, Option G to create a compound clip of it. Then go to speed and click on flash out. Then we're going to delete this middle point and play and see how it looks like. Perfect. Now I can just drag this closer to this. So now I can bring this to normal size so we can see. Now click on this background, go to mask. We're going to turn it off. So we click on none and let's stretch it to make it long for now. Then click on this and stretch it too. We don't have more space here, so this is what we're going to do. Just double click on it. It's going to take you inside that compound clip. Then we can stretch this and make it long. That's one beauty about compound clips. Then use this arrow to go to the main timeline. Then from here, we can stretch it a bit. So now I'm going to add a bit of movement to this red circle. Select that, go to video, click on basic, make a keyframe on scale, take your player to somewhere here, and then we can reduce the size a bit. So it's going to have this look like it's going back and reducing the size at the same time. Now we're going to bring in our money, and this is the fun part of this whole tutorial. Go to import, drag your money in the timeline. We're going to place it here for now so we can play this trick. With that selected, I'm going to reduce the size of it to go somewhere here. And I'm going to play this trick to create something like an anchor point since we don't have it in CapCut PC. I'm going to go to text, drag default text in the timeline, go to this side, delete default text and type in dots. So this is going to help me know exactly the middle point. So I want to know exactly the middle point. So I'm just going to bring it here. Then click on the money and let me move it to this side. So this whole point is going to be my anchor point and it's going to make the animation very easy and smooth. Now click on this, press V to disable it. We're going to export this. So click on this three dots and select export still frames. Let's name it one image one. Always good to name your files. Then select the place you want to export to and make sure you turn on import projects. This is going to import it back when it exports that very PNG file. Then click on export. So now when you go to import, you can see it right on this side. Just drag and drop on this side of the timeline. Now I can delete this once I don't need it. With that selected, go to the right side, click on remove background and select auto removal. It's going to remove the black background and let's increase it a bit. Now we can start with the animation. Take your player to the starting of it and drop a keyframe on transform. So it's going to come in from this side, then go 10 or 15 frames forward and let's start working with the animation. So I'm going to start with rotate. I want it to come in and I'm going to take it to somewhere here in the timeline and rotate it something like this. Now when I play and show you, it's going to come in nice and clean. Now we need to make it look like it's coming inside of this very red circle, and this is the trick we're going to use. Let's make a duplicate for now. Press option and drag to this very side, then click on this very one, option G to make a compound clip. Now click on mask and select circle mask. Let's make it the same as the red circle. Let me take it to this very side and make it the same as the red circle. So now when you look at it, it's going to come inside that very red circle. And we need to create a keyframe of it, so it's going to reduce size too. So with that selected, go to basic. Let's drop a keyframe on transform and let's go to where the second keyframe on this red circle is. Take it there and select the money file. And now we can reduce the size of it too to something like this. So now when I play and show you, it's going to come in and go down exactly. So now we're going to do two more. Let's bring the second one, press option and drag in the timeline. I want that to come behind this very first one, so I'm going to drag it to this very side in the timeline. Now take your playhead to the second keyframe of it. We're going to change the position of it. So I can go to something like this and then we'll see how it looks like when it comes in. So just like we did with the previous one, select this one and create a compound clip of it. Now click on mask and select circle mask. Let's take our player to the starting and let's increase it and let it throw the red. So that's also going to look like it's coming inside that very red circle. Now let's reduce the size of it with a keyframe. Go to basic, set on transform, click on this so we can see where the second keyframe is and click on this and let's just reduce the size of it. So now when you play, it's gonna come in nice and clean this way. Now let's do third one. We're gonna drag this one and drop it below all these two. Take your player to the second keyframe of that. This time around, we're gonna move it something like this. That's gonna come out of the circle a bit, so I can play this trick with it. Now with that selected, Option G to create a compound clip, then click on mask and click on circle mask. Now we're gonna shape this nicely with this. Let's take it to the first. We can go somewhere here in the timeline for now and see how it looks like. I think we can go to this second keyframe, click on this, so we can work on this very mask. So first I'm gonna increase this side, so it's gonna show this side too. And now let me play and see when it's coming in. I think I can work more with a circle mask. So let me take it to this side and let me just reduce and move it to this side. So now when I play and see how it looks like, it's gonna come in nice and clean. Now let's do the same keyframe intervals. Go to basic, make a keyframe on transform, click on this to see where the second keyframe is. Then click on this and let's reduce the size of it a bit. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to skip this side, but when you're doing this, just do it back and forth so you get it nice and clean. So now I'm going to bring in some counting numbers. I created this for you guys, just drag and drop in the timeline. So I'm just going to select this, go to remove background and try auto removal. That did not work, so let me turn it off and use the Chrome key. Now I can select the black side, increase the intensity a bit. So now I have this money counting in the timeline. And I want it to come when the money comes in fully on the screen. So I'm just going to take it here and then I'm going to increase the speed of it. With that selected, go to the right side, click on speed. Let's click on standard and let's just increase it. So I want it to be really fast. I think I can increase the speed a bit using the sliders on this side. I want to freeze the ending part of it. So I'm just going to take my playhead there, right click and select freeze. So I can freeze the ending part of it. So it depends on the number that you're going for. I'm going to go for 182,000. So now I can increase it a bit with the freeze side. Select all, Option G to create a compound clip. Now I'm going to add some animation to it. Select that. Go to animation, let's scroll down. I'm going to use shakedown animation, select that, and I'm going to increase it to somewhere 1.5 seconds. Now I'm going to play this trick with it, select that, create another compound clip of it, Option G. With that selected, go to mask and select rectangle. Let me just increase that to something like this, and let me increase the feather a bit. So now when you look at it, it's going to look like it's coming in from this side of the screen. I think with the feather, I can go to somewhere 3 and play and see how it looks like. So now we're going to do this. Let's make a cut on this very background. Let's stretch it here for now and let's increase this. We're going to make a compound clip of the money and also this very tool, the circle, the red circle, and also this background, Option G, to make a compound clip. We're going to take it here when the number comes in fully on the screen. Let's start with this very one. Make a keyframe on transform, then take your player to somewhere here and make another keyframe on transform. Let's increase it a bit and let's move it to this side of the screen. Don't worry, we're going to clean this up. I could have easily ignored the background, but we're going to clean that up. Let's bring this background to this side, so it's gonna stay even when it moves. Now we're gonna do the same with this very number. Take our player there. Let's search for where the keyframe starts from. This side. Select on the money. Make a keyframe on transform. Select this. Let's search where it is. Make another keyframe on transform. We're gonna do exactly as we did. Increase the scale a bit and move it to this side of the screen. We're going to make sure we are only moving the x-axis. So let me take it back to the previous. It was -173. I'm going to put -173 here. Now when you look, it's going to go just like this. Now let's add some curves to it to make it smooth. So click on this, Option K. We're going to use with the x-axis. click on this keyframe and click on this drop down. Then select auto curve, click on this auto curve. We're gonna do the same thing with this. Option K to close that. Select this. Option K to open it. Click on X, click on this keyframe and this drop down menu to bring the graphs out. Select auto curve, click on this, select auto curve. Now Option K to close that. So now when you play, it comes in and then it moves to this side. It looks too fast for my liking, so let me just move it to this side a bit. Make sure I drop a marker on that side. Then click on this so I can match exactly where this marker is. So now we're gonna bring in a video. You can choose any video you wanna use. I'm gonna drag this in the timeline. Then go to Effects. I'm gonna use this photo frame. Just drag and drop on that very video. Now I can reduce the size of it. We're gonna match exactly the same intervals with this movement. So let me just take it somewhere here. And let's just freeze the beginning of it. So right click, go to Edit, Freeze Frame, select these two. Make sure you take your player to where the freeze frame ends. Then Option G to create a compound clip. Then with that selected, press M to drop a marker on that very side. Now we're just gonna take it here. We want when the freeze frame ends and the video start playing, that's gonna be where this animation is. So I'm just gonna match it a bit to that side. I think I can make it go a bit forward to somewhere here. Looks pretty cool. Now let's animate that to follow the same intervals like this. Click on this to check where it starts moving. Take your playhead there and click on this very one. With that selected, make a keyframe on transform, reduce the size of it, and let's move it to this side on the screen. Then click on this, check where it is. It's on this side. Click on this, and now we can move it on the screen and increase the size a bit. Now let's add some curves to it. Option K, it was X-axis, click on that, click on this keyframe. Let me reduce the length of it, it looks too long. So take your playhead here and press W to trim the ending part. Now with that selected, let's click on this to bring the graphs out. Then select auto curve, click on this, select auto curve. Now Option K to hide keyframe graphs. So now when I play and show you, it comes in this way and then this comes in on the screen. So now let's play this trick with this image. Click on this. This is when the video starts playing. So we're gonna take our playhead there, go forward a bit like 2 frames, then go to adjustment, scroll down. We're gonna work on saturation. So make a keyframe on saturation, then take your playhead a bit to this side when it comes fully on the screen. And let's take saturation down so it's gonna make black and white. Now let's see how it looks. When it gets there, it turns to color. I think we can move it a bit away so it will take a bit of time. So now select this, Option G to create a compound clip of it, and let's add overall zoom into it. Go to video and click on basic. We take our player to somewhere here, make a keyframe on transform. Then when it comes on the screen, let's take it to somewhere here and let's increase the size a bit. So it's gonna have that effect that when it comes in on the screen, it's gonna continue increasing with the size. So now this side we can create another compound clip, Option G. I know we're creating more compound clips, but it's gonna make everything so easy on our side. Anytime you wanna change something in the compound clip, you can just double click and go inside that very compound clip. Very easy to do that. Now let's take our player to somewhere here in the timeline, click on that, make a keyframe on transform, then go 10 or 15 frames forward, and now we can increase it to fill the whole screen. So I can go more. I just want the video to take over the whole screen. Let me show you guys what we have so far. So So one last thing about this tutorial, MagnatesMedia was using something like clouds. I searched everywhere for that very effect. I could not find it. So I would really appreciate it if one of you could drop a link to where you can find it, so all of us can get our hands on it. Remember, it's a community we are creating over here. Now you can check on this playlist to learn more about MagnatesMedia editing style. Catch you in the next one. Peace.